They told everyone I was the embarrassment of the family since I was 12, so I left without goodbye and became someone else. Before we dive deeper, may I ask a small favor? Kindly subscribe and also share where you're watching from in the comments. It makes our community feel closer. I was 12 when my mother first said it. Standing in our cramped Atlanta kitchen, voice sharp enough to cut glass, "You're the embarrassment of this family, Lucinda. Always have been, always will be." My older sister Tamara smirked from the doorway, arms crossed like she'd been waiting years to hear those words spoken out loud. What had I done? Failed a math test. Got a B instead of an A. In the Sterling family, anything less than perfection from me was ammunition. But here's the twisted part, they didn't hold anyone else to those standards. Tamara barely graduated high school, but that was finding herself. My brother Alex got arrested twice for petty theft, but that was boys being boys. Me? I brought home a 3.8 GPA and got lectured for an hour about the missing 0.2. I started noticing how they'd stiffen when I entered rooms, how conversations died when I spoke. At family gatherings, my Aunt Lorraine would literally turn her back to me mid-sentence to talk to someone else. The worst part wasn't the criticism. It was how they'd smile while delivering it. "We're just trying to help you, baby." My father, Raymond, barely acknowledged my existence unless it was to compare me unfavorably to Tamara. "Why can't you be more like your sister? She knows how to make people comfortable." Comfortable. That was their code word for invisible. By 13, I'd stopped trying to understand why. I just knew I was different, the wrong kind of different. The kind that made your own mother flinch when you walked in wearing the wrong outfit. The kind that made you the punchline of every family joke. Tamara was everything they wanted. Light-skinned with good hair, bubbly personality, always knew what to say. I was darker, quieter, preferred books to parties. In our household, that was criminal. The comparisons became a daily ritual. Tamara got asked to prom by 3 boys. "What about you, Lucinda?" "Oh wait, you were probably in the library." My mother, Patricia, delivered this at Sunday dinner while everyone laughed. I was 14. I started documenting everything in a journal. Not for pity, for proof. Because they'd gaslight me constantly. "We never said that. You're being too sensitive. Why do you always play the victim?" But I had pages of quotes, dates, witnesses. March 15, 2019, Mother told Grandma Jean I was socially stunted while I sat 10 feet away. April 3, 2019, Father gave Tamara $200 for a concert. I asked for $20 for school supplies, got a lecture about earning respect. Alex was the invisible middle child, and he used that position like a weapon. He'd steal from my room, jewelry our grandmother gave me, birthday money, even my clothes, then swear he didn't. When I'd complain, Patricia would snap, "Stop making up stories for attention. Your brother doesn't need your cheap jewelry." Cheap. Our grandmother died leaving me those pieces. But that didn't matter. The breaking point of that year came at Thanksgiving. Our entire extended family gathered, cousins, aunts, uncles, about 30 people total. Patricia stood up to make a toast. "I'm grateful for my beautiful daughter Tamara, who just got accepted to Spelman. And Alex, who's finally getting his life together." Long pause. Then, "And Lucinda's here too." Everyone laughed. My cousin Deshawn caught my eye, looking uncomfortable, but said nothing. Nobody ever said anything. High school became my escape. At school, I was Lucinda Sterling, honor roll student, debate team captain, editor of the yearbook. At home, I was the family disappointment who somehow kept disappointing despite doing everything right. The cognitive dissonance was maddening. My guidance counselor, Ms. Joyner, noticed something was off. "Lucinda, you're one of our brightest students. Why do you always seem so defeated? I couldn't tell her the truth. That my own family had a group chat, called The Real Sterlings, that I wasn't included in. I only found out because I grabbed Tamara's phone once when hers was dead, and the notification popped up. I scrolled through months of messages. They talked about me like I was a stranger. Did you see what Lucinda wore today? Embarrassing. She's probably going to end up working at McDonald's, watch. Why is she always so awkward? No wonder she has no friends. That last part destroyed me because I did have friends. Good ones. My best friend since elementary school, Nia Thompson, knew some of what I dealt with, but not the extent. Nobody did. I protected my family's reputation while they torched mine. Isn't that insane? I'd cover for them, make excuses when they publicly humiliated me. Oh, Mom's just joking. That's our dynamic. Meanwhile, I was dying inside. Junior year, I started planning. Not anything dramatic, just survival. I researched colleges far from Georgia. California, Washington, Maine. Anywhere with distance and scholarship programs. Because I knew, when I turned 18, I was gone. Not running away like a child. Leaving like someone who finally understood she was never wanted. There's a difference. My grades became my ticket out. Every A was a step closer to freedom. My 17th birthday was on a Saturday. I woke up cautiously optimistic, stupid, I know. Patricia made Tamara's birthday a whole production every year, decorations, catered food, gift bags for guests. For mine, she baked a store-bought cake and invited nobody. Just immediate family. We sat in painful silence while she brought it out. Make a wish, Lucinda. I wish to disappear. The cake said, "Happy birthday Tamira," with an I. Oh, the bakery messed it up, Patricia laughed, not even pretending to be sorry. Alex spit out his piece, claiming it was too dry. Tamara was on her phone the entire time. Raymond cut himself a slice, ate it in 4 bites, then left the table without a word. I sat there alone with a misspelled cake nobody wanted to eat. Nia called an hour later. Girl, get dressed. We're going to that new arcade downtown. She'd organized a surprise party, just our close friend group, maybe 8 people. They pooled money for gifts, art supplies, books I'd mentioned wanting, a journal with my initials embossed on the cover. We love you, Lucinda. Real talk. My friend Jordan, who usually joked about everything, got serious. Your family doesn't deserve you, and one day you're gonna realize that. That night, I posted a photo from Nia's party. The next morning, Patricia confronted me in the kitchen. So you had time for your little friends but couldn't appreciate what your family did for you? Ungrateful. That's what you are. I stared at her. What did you do for me, exactly? Her face twisted. We gave you life. We put a roof over your head. And this is the thanks we get. You gave me a misspelled cake in silence. She slapped me. Hard enough that my ear rang for hours. The college acceptance letter started arriving in February. Stanford, UC Berkeley, University of Washington, full rides to all 3. I'd applied to 12 schools, got into 11. My guidance counselor called it unprecedented for our school. Ms. Joyner wanted to celebrate, arrange an assembly, call the local news. I begged her not to. My family, they'll make it about something else. Please. I told my parents that night at dinner. Casual, trying not to show too much excitement. I got into Stanford. Full scholarship. Silence. Then Raymond, Stanford in California. I nodded. More silence. Finally, Patricia spoke, "That's very far." What, you think you're too good for Georgia schools now? Spelman wasn't good enough for you? Tamara had gone to Spelman for 1 year before dropping out. I was supposed to pretend not to know that was the real issue. It's one of the best schools in the country, Ma. It's across the country. Away from your family. But I guess that's what you want, huh? To abandon us after everything we've done for you. Alex barely looked up from his phone. Bet she won't last a semester. Probably come running back when she realizes how hard real life is. He was 22, living in our basement, unemployed. But sure, I was the failure. The table went silent again. Not congratulations. Not pride. Just resentment so thick I could taste it. Later, I heard them talking in the living room. Patricia's voice carried, "She's probably lying. There's no way she got a full scholarship. You know how she is, always exaggerating for attention." Raymond agreed, "Even if it's true, she'll embarrass us out there. People will know she's from our family." They weren't worried about me. They were worried I'd somehow reflect badly on them. That's when something inside me finally cracked. Not broke, transformed. I stopped engaging. Completely. When they criticized me, I nodded and left the room. When they made jokes at my expense, I didn't react. This infuriated Patricia more than fighting back ever did. "What, now you're too good to talk to your own mother?" I'd respond with one word, "No." Then walk away. Gray rock method, I learned it from a psychology article online. Don't give them emotional fuel. I started working 2 jobs, weekends at a clothing store, evenings babysitting for neighbors. Every check went into a bank account they didn't know about. I opened it at a credit union across town using my school ID. By April, I had $3,000 saved. My plan was simple: leave for Stanford in August and never come back for holidays. Be the distant, disappointing daughter they always said I was. Nia noticed the change. "You seem different. Calmer, but also, gone. Like you're already gone." We were at her house, door closed, speaking in whispers. I told her everything. The group chat. The years of comparing. The slap. The way they'd tried to diminish my college acceptances. She cried, literally cried, with anger. "Lucinda, that's abuse. You know that, right? Emotional abuse." I did know. I'd read enough psychology articles, watched enough videos. But naming it felt too real, too painful. They're my family. Family doesn't treat you like garbage for existing. Family doesn't celebrate your failures and resent your successes. You need to get out and never look back. That's the plan, I said. And for the first time in my life, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: control. I was 17 years old, and I was taking my life back from people who never valued it. They thought they were teaching me my place. Instead, they taught me I didn't belong in their world. My high school graduation was on May 24th. I was valedictorian, 4.0 GPA, nearly perfect SAT scores, accepted to 11 universities. Ms. Joyner insisted I give the commencement speech. I wrote something about overcoming adversity without mentioning specifics. Some of us learned early that the only person who will save you is yourself. That validation comes from within, not from people who should love you but don't. My family showed up late. I watched them slip into the back row during the principal's opening remarks. Tamara was on her phone. Alex looked hungover. Patricia and Raymond sat stone-faced, like attending was a chore. When they called my name for valedictorian honors, the auditorium erupted in applause. Ms. Joyner stood, tears in her eyes. My friends went wild, screaming my name. My family sat motionless. Not one clap. Not one smile. During my speech, I looked right at them when I said, "Thank you to everyone who believed in me, who saw my potential when others only saw problems." You saved my life. Patricia's jaw tightened. She knew. After the ceremony, families swarmed the field taking photos. Nia's parents hugged me, told me how proud they were. Jordan's mom said I was going to change the world. My own family stood 15 feet away, looking at their phones. Finally, Patricia approached. Well, that's over. Let's go eat. Not congratulations. Not good job. Just obligation. We went to a cheap buffet, not even a nice restaurant like they'd done for Tamara's graduation. Over lukewarm food, Raymond spoke, so Stanford. You're really doing this? It wasn't a question. Yes, I said. In August. Don't expect us to help you move. You made your choice. I smiled. I wasn't planning on it. That smile seemed to unsettle them more than any argument could. June 15th. I remember because it was 3 days before Father's Day, and I'd made the mistake of buying Raymond a gift, some cologne he'd mentioned liking. I left it on the kitchen counter wrapped with a card. He opened it without ceremony, grunted, thanks, and set it aside. Later that day, I found it in the trash. Not even hidden, just thrown away with the wrapping still attached. That same evening, they had a family meeting. Without me. I was upstairs in my room when I heard them gathering in the living room. Curiosity won over dignity. I crept to the top of the stairs and listened. Patricia's voice, once she leaves, we're done. No more pretending. She wants to go across the country. Fine. But she's not coming back here acting like nothing happened. Tamara laughed. Mom, relax. She'll probably fail out first semester and come crawling back. Then what? Then she can figure it out. I'm tired of walking on eggshells around her attitude. Everything's always a problem with Lucinda. Always so sensitive, always the victim. Alex chimed in, we should just tell her straight up. After she leaves, she's on her own. No emergency calls, no coming back for holidays. Cut it clean. Raymond, the man who barely spoke to me my entire life, said the quietest and most devastating thing, she was never really part of this family anyway. We all know it. Might as well make it official. I didn't cry. That's what shocked me most. I stood there on those stairs, listening to my blood relatives discuss erasing me from their lives, and felt nothing but clarity. They'd been telling me who they were for years. I'd finally heard them. I walked back to my room, pulled out my phone, and recorded a voice memo, June 15th. They just voted me out of the family. Unanimous decision. I stopped trying to fix it. That was the biggest shift. For years, I'd bent myself into shapes hoping to fit their mold. Now I focused on logistics. I made lists, documents I needed, birth certificate, social security card, passport, belongings worth taking, not much, connections to maintain, Nia, Jordan, Ms. Joyner, a few others. I researched Stanford housing, course registration, campus resources. I planned my exit like a military operation. Stanford move-in was August 20th. I booked a one-way flight leaving August 19th at 6 a.m. Early enough that they'd all be asleep. I wasn't running, I was strategically departing. There's power in that distinction. I packed slowly over weeks, hiding boxes in my closet. Clothes, books, my journals documenting everything. The jewelry my grandmother left me, which I'd hidden after Alex's thefts. Photos of me and Nia, nothing with my family in them. 2 weeks before departure, Patricia asked about move-in logistics. So when are we driving you to Stanford? She said it like a burden. I looked up from my laptop. I'm flying. Already booked. Confusion crossed her face. By yourself? How are you getting to the airport? Nia's brother is driving me. Silence. Then, you didn't think to include your own family. You literally said you wouldn't help me move, Dad. Remember? May 24th, at that buffet. Your exact words were, "Don't expect us to help." Raymond's face reddened. "Don't get smart with me, girl. You knew what I meant." I did know. That's why I made other arrangements. I was calm, almost cold. This new version of me unnerved them. Patricia tried a different approach, guilt. "After everything we've sacrificed for you, you're just going to leave like this? Without even considering your family?" "I've spent 17 years considering my family. Now I'm considering myself." I walked away mid-conversation. First time I'd ever done that. It felt like flying. August 18th. My last day in that house. I said nothing. They didn't ask. We moved around each other like strangers, which, honestly, we'd always been. Nia came over at 8 p.m. "This is it, huh?" We sat on my bedroom floor, now empty except for the furniture that came with the room. "This is it," I confirmed. She hugged me so tight my ribs hurt. "Promise me you'll never come back to this toxicity." "Promise." That night, I barely slept. Not from anxiety, from anticipation. At 4 a.m., my alarm went off. I showered quietly, dressed in comfortable clothes, did one final check of my room. On my pillow, I left a note. Not sentimental, just factual. "I'm gone. Don't look for me, don't call me. You've made it clear for years that I don't belong in this family. I'm finally accepting that truth. You wanted me out of your lives. Congratulations. This is what it looks like. Don't worry about embarrassing you anymore, you'll never have to claim me again. Good luck with everything. Lucinda." Short, clean, final. I crept downstairs at 4:47 a.m. The house was dead silent. I looked around one last time at the place that never felt like home. No tears, no sentiment. Just closure. I walked out the front door at 4:51 a.m., locked it behind me with my key, and left that key in the mailbox. Nia's brother Travis pulled up at exactly 5 a.m. "You ready?" he asked. "Been ready," I said, loading my bags. We drove to the airport in comfortable silence. He dropped me at departures at 5:40 a.m. "Be great, Lucinda. Not for them, for you." I hugged him, grabbed my bags, and walked into that airport without looking back. Not once. The flight left at 6:47 a.m. By 7 a.m., I was in the air, literally and figuratively leaving everything behind. Stanford was everything. From day one, I decided, new name, new energy, new life. I started going by my middle name, Simone. Lucinda Sterling, the family embarrassment, died on that flight. Simone S. Sterling, Stanford freshman, was born at 9:43 a.m. Pacific Time when I landed in San Francisco. Dramatic? Maybe. Necessary? Absolutely. My roommate was a girl named Jasmine Wu from Seattle. First thing she said, "I love your energy. You seem so confident." Confident. Me. The girl who'd been told she was an embarrassment for 5 years straight. But she was right, I was different. Without their voices in my head, without constant criticism waiting around every corner, I could breathe. I threw myself into everything, classes, clubs, social events. I joined the Black Student Union, the debate team, started volunteering at a youth mentorship program. I made friends who actually liked me, who thought I was smart and funny and worth knowing. My phone stayed silent. Patricia called twice that first week. I didn't answer. She left voicemails, "Lucinda, call us back. We need to know you made it safely." The audacity. I blocked their numbers after the second call. Tamara tried texting, "Mom's worried. At least let us know you're alive." I sent one response, "I'm alive. Don't contact me again." Then blocked her too. Alex never reached out. Raymond neither. Good. 6 weeks in, I got a Facebook message from my Aunt Lorraine, the one who used to turn her back on me at gatherings. "Lucinda, your mother is beside herself. How could you just disappear like this? Family is everything. You need to call home." I stared at that message for a full minute, then typed, "Aunt Lorraine, with respect, where was this concern when I was being degraded at every family function? When Mom called me an embarrassment repeatedly? When you literally turned away from me mid-conversation? That family meant everything to me once. Now it means nothing." November. Thanksgiving break. I stayed at Stanford, got a campus job, had dinner with Jasmine's family who flew in. They welcomed me like I'd always belonged. It felt foreign and beautiful. Meanwhile, back in Atlanta, chaos erupted. Nia told me everything later. Apparently, Patricia had been telling everyone I'd abandoned them without explanation. Playing the victim. We gave her everything and she just disappeared. But Nia, bless her heart, had enough. At a family gathering, her family invited mine, Patricia started her routine. "We just don't understand what we did wrong. Lucinda won't even return our calls." Nia snapped. In front of 25 people, she said, "Mrs. Sterling, you called her an embarrassment for years. You celebrated Tamara and ignored Lucinda. You gaslit her, belittled her, emotionally abused her. I watched it. Your family treated her like she was defective for not being Tamara 2.0. She didn't abandon you, she escaped you." Dead silence. Then Nia's mom, who'd witnessed some incidents, backed her up. "Patricia, I've held my tongue for years, but Nia's right. The way y'all treated that child was shameful. She was brilliant and kind, and you made her feel worthless. She didn't leave without reason." Patricia tried to defend herself, but others started speaking up. Cousins who'd felt uncomfortable. Uncle Jerome who'd once asked why they were so hard on me. The truth spilled out like a dam breaking. Tamara messaged me, "People know now. Mom's humiliated. Hope you're happy." I responded, "I'm not happy. I'm healing. There's a difference. Tell Mom her reputation isn't my responsibility anymore." She read it but didn't reply. My cousin Deshawn, who'd witnessed the Thanksgiving toast incident years ago, reached out with an apology. "I should have said something. I was a coward. You deserved better, Lucinda. I'm sorry. I appreciated it but didn't absolve him. Thank you." But silence was a choice. 3 years later, I'm graduating Stanford with honors. Double major in psychology and communications, job offer at a tech company in San Francisco, enrolled in a master's program starting fall. I've been in therapy for 2 years, unpacking everything, learning I wasn't the problem. I'm in a healthy relationship with a guy named Devin who can't fathom my family's treatment. "You're literally the most amazing person I know," he says, genuinely confused. I haven't spoken to my birth family since that flight. Haven't seen them, haven't reconciled. I don't hate them, hate requires energy I won't spend. I'm indifferent. They're strangers who happen to raise me. I built a chosen family, Nia, who visits twice a year. Jasmine, who's like the sister I deserved. My therapist Dr. Morrison. Professors who mentored me. Devin's family, who welcomed me with open arms. Last month, Raymond sent a Facebook friend request. I stared at it for days before declining. No message, no explanation. Just no. Patricia wrote a letter, somehow got my campus address. I didn't open it. Threw it away immediately. Tamara tried calling from a new number. I hung up after hearing Lucinda and blocked it. They don't get access to Simone. She's someone they'll never meet. People ask if I'll ever forgive them. Maybe. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. I forgive them for me, not for them. They taught me what family shouldn't be. They showed me I'm stronger than their worst words. They gave me the greatest gift accidentally, the motivation to build a life so beautiful, they have no place in it. I'm Simone Sterling. Stanford graduate. Survivor. Success story. And I did it without them. Some people spend their whole lives trying to earn love from people incapable of giving it. I spent 17 years. Then I chose myself. Best decision I ever made. The girl they called an embarrassment became a woman who embarrasses no one, least of all herself. That's the twist they never saw coming. I won by walking away.